Why wait to see if you'll get something you like this Valentine's Day when you can go to BlueNile.com and find something you'll love? Whether you're looking to treat yourself to a little winter sparkle or show a galentine how much you appreciate them, Blue Nile offers a wide selection of high-quality designs, expert guidance, and free 30-day returns for the ultimate peace of mind. You can even design your own jewelry. Right now, save up to 50% at BlueNile.com. That's BlueNile.com.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Hello again, hockey fans. Are you ready to brave the wild? With me, your host, Paladino Joey. It is Saturday, August the 31st, 2013. It is the end of August. That means training camp is right around the corner. And with me today, once again, Neil Natedogg Thiesing. There he is, and yep, over the phone this time for the second consecutive show. Not in studio, hopefully in studio again. Yes, that would be nice. But
oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. We know what scheduling can do, though, of course. And yep, that's one of the reasons. The State of the Wild is just about 2 months later than normal. But hey, it's still before the preview. That's what counts, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, and there's just schedules got in the way. I got busy. You got sick for a little while there, unfortunately. Glad to know you're feeling better.
Buddy.
Huh?
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. It's like you conked out for a second there. The sound did. I'm sorry, but it's good now. All right. But yeah, we're here to review the 2012-2013 season, and also got to make a quick announcement, by the way, for those of you out there for the first time of Brave the Wild. We are now also on Dakota Sports FM. That's right, Dakota Sports FM, along with the sportstuff.com. So, and of course iTunes and Double Twist and all that good stuff. So none of that changes, but Travis Cranes from Dakota Sports FM has also brought Brave the Wild on there. Isn't that exciting, Neil?
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I love it. Yep, internet radio also available on TuneIn. So if you're unable to sit in front of the computer out there, but you want to be able to hear the live stream of this show, there it is. Just simply check on Dakota Sports FM for the available time when this show plays in the future. And of course, Purple Mafia and Timberwolves Explosion appear on there as well, along with the sportstuff.com and iTunes. All right, sorry for that, for talking too much on that, but here we are. This is episode 62, by the way, of Brave the Wild. I might want to mention that. Yeah. Well, it was a hell of a Stanley Cup Finals. A unbelievable Stanley Cup Finals. And the one team the Wild needed to get past in order to even get to the second round, well, they went all the way and won it, didn't they?
Yep. Sure
did. Doggone it. Oh, Boston. Unbelievable what they were able to pull off. Whoa. I mean, they pulled off a lot of upsets. They made an incredible comeback against Toronto, down 3-1. They made an insane comeback in, was it Game 7? It was unbelievable in the first round against Toronto. Game 6, excuse me. Just a colossal collapse by the Toronto Maple Leafs. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Up by like 3 goals with like 10 minutes left, and they don't even win. Oh, man. And that's kind of what Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals was like for Boston. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
Bruins leading by 2 with, what was it, like 50 seconds left, and like 3 seconds later, Bruins down. It's like, you got to be kidding me. You just knew it was over at that point.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it really was. Chicago just able to get it done, despite the awesome young goalie that Boston has. I mean, to think that, oh yeah, they just traded away Tim Thomas. He helped them win a cup so easily, and the next thing you know, they just trade him. It's like, what? That was unbelievable. But then the young goalie, who was a backup in their Stanley Cup championship, just those 2 years ago, it was an unbelievable story to see Tuukka Rask get it. He went out there and had a great playoffs. He would have definitely been the Conn Smythe winner, I got to think, for the Bruins if they could have won it. But unfortunately for them, it just wasn't meant to be. Yes.
Yep. Better luck next year.
Yeah, better luck next year. Yep. Anything else you'd like to say about the Stanley Cup Finals, or shall we slide into Wild talk?
It was quite a series, I guess.
It really was. There was a lot of back and forth from both teams. It looked like, oh, this team's gonna win. No, this team's gonna win. Whoa, nah, Chicago's gonna win. Damn it. No, actually, no, I didn't think Chicago was gonna win until they took that 1-goal lead in Game 6. It's like, Boston's gonna come back and finish this thing somehow.
Yeah.
Nope. It's like, nope. That had to sting for Boston Bruins fans in their house, just like it did for Toronto fans in their house. Man, that had to suck. Because, I mean, Boston won a 7th game on the road, so it's like you figure if they can somehow survive this 6th game, and it looks like they're gonna, they could beat Chicago in Game 7 on the road. Nope. Damn it. Yeah, Boston was one of those teams. I mean, I like Boston teams. Some of you out there probably know that already. Dakota Sports FM fans may or may not know that yet. A little early, but depending on if you listen to other shows, Purple Mafia or Timberwolves Explosion. But, yeah. Yeah, well, shall we slide into the season wrap-up of the Minnesota Wild? The very late season wrap-up? Are you ready to roll?
Yep.
Well, how about the Wild? Yep, of course they get to the playoffs, losing the first round, of course. 4-1 to the Chicago Blackhawks. Looked overmatched from the get-go. That was just a definite frustration. It looked like there was hope for the future for this team, especially when you have, like, Parise, Suter, Brodin was a really nice, I wouldn't call him a surprise because a lot of people saw him as like either the first or second prospect in the whole organization, but surprise in terms of, wow, he's this good this early, and boy, does he got a future in this league. Jonas Brodin. Very exciting. And of course, you add Pominville to the mix with Koivu and Parise. I think that's a great top line. It's like, wow, what the hell? It's like nothing really happened. Of course, Pominville's concussion didn't help either.
Dang concussions.
Yeah. It's Mr. Brown's fault over there from Dustin Brown of the LA Kings. You just gotta love that, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Sticking the elbow in Pominville's forehead. Thank you so much for that. Derailed the Wild's playoff hopes pretty much. I mean, they made it, but yeah, barely. They were out of his. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, they were. So really the gist, because I mean, it's going to be more of an abbreviated wrap-up of the Wild, because we're going to get more into the, the free agency, the comings and goings. That's kind of more of the semi-fresh, and to kind of get you guys caught up here before training camp. But really, overall, it's just the season wasn't quite what you had hoped, was it, coming in? Like, did this year meet your expectations, Neil? Did it?
Well, we made it to the playoffs, so I guess it was more than I expected.
Uh-oh. Look at you. I mean, I suppose in a way, but I mean, after signing Parise and Suter, I was hoping it would be a little better, but I suppose in hockey, it's not quite the same as in other sports. Not quite Miami Heat-like, where you can go right to the NBA Finals after being like a terrible team just by signing 2 guys. But still, I mean, I don't know. My hopes were a little higher, but yeah, at least we finally got back to the playoffs again. It took about 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, to think we started Brave the Wild in August 2008, and by the way, we've celebrated our 5th birthday already for this show, which is insane this past month. But geez, this was the first ever season where Brave the Wild, of Brave the Wild's history, that we had a playoff team. So I guess, yeah, I suppose getting to the playoffs is a nice stepping stone, a very small one, but at least you finally got in. Hope this team can build off of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you got to think they can. You got to think that the possibility exists. You got all the young guys. You got Charlie Coyle. You got some newcomer coming in. I'll mention him shortly, of course. A right winger from the New York Islanders. But yeah, of course, Brodin's continued development, I got to think, should be a positive. Nicholas Backstrom has been re-upped as well. That's happened since the last show. It happened pretty much right after the end of everything. I mean, Wild, it was a situation where all the other goalies out there were going to be insanely expensive. So if you could get Nicholas Backstrom at like $3 million a year, you kind of had to bite on that one, huh?
Yeah, for sure. He's a solid goalie.
Yeah. It's like, even though he's getting a little older, to go from his extremely expensive price tag that he had before to go down to $3 million, not a bad deal. So, not a bad deal at all, considering when you got like guys like Emery that signed for like $5 million a year who aren't better than Backstrom. So, maybe younger, but not better. So,
that's for sure.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to talk over you there. I know how this can be at times, the audio and all that. But man, oh, live. You have Jason Zucker and guys like that as well coming up. There is a hope, and of course, Mikhail Granlund. Yes, you really got to hope there's going to be some progression with that guy coming in. Oh my goodness, man, oh man. Last year, not quite what I had hoped, but I suppose maybe too much expectations were thrown on that young man coming in.
Yeah, definitely. That was for a way better season than what he had.
I hope the Wild can, or I hope Granlund can bring that this year. Definitely needed to bulk up. I mean, he was a pretty small guy, wasn't he? Smaller than Bouchard, basically, or about the same size. Man alive. He's definitely, and it's going to be, the ongoing question is going to become, is he a center or is he a wing? Just like that happened with Bouchard. Was he a center or a wing? And he just ended up becoming a wing, which wasn't the original plan, but
yeah.
It's like, what can you do, right?
Pretty much.
So, with that, the Wild did not have a first-round pick due to the trade in acquiring Jason Pominville. Of course, Johan Larsson also went to Buffalo in that trade. So, Wild ended up having a second-round pick, 46th overall. Defenseman Gustav Olofsson out of Sweden. Right wing Curtis Gabriel came to the Minnesota Wild in the 3rd round. 4th round, Dylan Labbe. Good name there. That was a defenseman. So Wild already have 3 defensemen coming in as of this 5th pick here in Carson Soucy, also out of Canada. We get a Minnesotan in the 6th round, center Avery Peterson. And defenseman again, that's 4 defensemen. And like 6 picks there. Nolan De Jong out of Canada. And 7th round pick, goalie, Alexandre Belanger in the 7th round, 200th overall. So there's the Wild's draft. Can't say I can come on the air right now and tell you all the good stuff about these guys because, there weren't the top prospects, and there's lots of hockey prospects out there. And if you're, because I'm an NHL guy, and also I like watching Gopher hockey, so I'll know a lot of those names, but a lot of these guys are a bit more tough to follow, wouldn't you say?
Don't really know too many of those names.
No, it's one of those tough things. I mean, obviously local guys, at times we can know them. A.B. Peterson I know a little bit about, but again, it's he played for Grand Rapids High School, was able to get over 50 points in Grand Rapids High School, hoping for the best there. He was, the Wild tend to get a lot of Minnesotans into their system. Like you got Mario Lucia, Nick Seeler, and of course Haula from the Gophers. Obviously not from Minnesota originally, but ended up moving here, transplant. So gotta like that. We got Haula. Thank goodness for that. He's signed in the system. Hopefully he'll be on the Wild this coming season. We'll see. He was a 7th-round pick, and he went all the way to being like a legit prospect with the Wild, leading scorer with the Gophers. Pretty cool. Good stuff. Well, don't you love the Gophers, Neil, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
NHL teams like to give Don Lucia a lot of crap, though. He doesn't develop players, does he? No, okay, sorry. I'm sorry, I can't help it. It's just one of those annoying things that, yeah. All right, so to move on into free agency, to get off of that topic, mercifully. Here we go. Now we get into the interesting stuff. Cal Clutterbuck. Oh, Mr. Fan favorite, but apparently the kind of guy that I think is starting to wear out his welcome with the organization for multiple reasons. And according to multiple sources inside, the Wild and in media around the Wild, guys like that, like Michael Russo and stuff with the Star Tribune. Clutterbuck, well, he's one of those guys, he'll hit somebody, but he won't, fight with the guy. You know what I mean? Like, when the guy wants to fight, he'll just skate away, so then someone else has to deal with it. What do you think of Clutterbuck's departure?
I was kind of a fan of him because he was the guy that always hit people. Yeah,
that's the thing. That's what he was. He was a hitter. One other thing that, his production dropped this past year in a big way. You look at him as like a potential 20-goal guy, and it just seemed like night in, night out, he wasn't a factor. Offensively, he was just hitting people, and even that was kind of on the decline a bit this past year. Unfortunately. So, he's the kind of guy that I guess, according to sources, I wasn't there, but sources were. He was starting to rub people the wrong way a little bit inside the organization. Obviously other players, because other players would have to take the rap for him when he's out, nailing people, and then he wouldn't stand up for, he wouldn't kind of stand up for himself when players on the other team wanted to go at it. He's the kind of guy, he'll hit somebody and then skate away instead of fight. So it's one of those things in hockey. If you're going to hit somebody, you should be willing to pay for it once in a while rather than make your teammates pay for it. It's just one of those things. It's one of those things that, most fans probably don't think about that much, especially if they're more on the casual side, but it's one of those insider type things, like in baseball. Like, it'd be like if a pitcher is constantly stirring things up and hitting people, so then now all the players, now all of your guys are going to get hit by a pitch, because your pitcher is being a little crazy. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Aren't you going to miss Clutterbuck, though? Aren't you going to miss him?
Yeah.
I'll miss him a little bit, because it's just a shame that he didn't fight more. That's what the complaint was, and that's what the complaint was, and that kind of player is actually quite common. It's kind of funny too, because we signed like a very similar type of guy much later on in the summer. Not much later, but later on in the summer, and it's just kind of made the fan base cringe a little bit. You kind of know who I'm talking about, I'm sure, but we'll save that. You probably have an idea what I'm talking about, don't you?
I think so.
Yep, you're just like, yeah, sure, Joe. No. But no, the Wild did trade Clutterbuck to the New York Islanders, so we don't have to deal with him in our conference or division or any of that. Unlike Sutaguchi, we will have to deal with him, the second best hitter on the team. But yeah, the trade was for Nino Niederreiter. That's right, Nino Niederreiter. Try to say that fast 3 times.
Yes.
Yes, El Nino is coming to the Wild. high prospect that hasn't done all that much just yet, unfortunately, in this league. But again, it's early. That's the fortunate part. Like to look up Nino Niederreiter's production so far in the league. It's it's not making anybody blush just yet. But being a very high pick, fifth overall pick in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, fifth overall pick in 2010. But yeah, in 55 games in 2011, 2012, 55 games he only scored. It's like, am I looking at this correctly? It's like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. He scored 1 goal in 55 games.
Wow.
One goal. I'm just, when you look at this stat, and he was a minus 29.
Please.
Well, I guess he fits right in. Oh my, really? So that's the fear. The production level doesn't exist yet. Of course, he's out of Switzerland. That explains the uniqueness of the name a bit. Maybe doesn't sound Canadian or American. So, also played 9 games with the New York Islanders, and he got 2 points. And then, can you believe that? He doubled the production in only 9 games. 2010, 2011.
Might get 3 with us.
Huh? Yeah. He might. Yeah, he might. I hope he does.
Yeah.
I hope he does. It's just, I can't get over that, though. And the first time I saw that, really? Man alive. It's like, all right, wow, 5th overall pick. I forgot about that. I remember now, briefly, just vaguely, because it's like, yeah, a guy gets drafted and then he disappears in the minor league system for 1 to 5 years, we'll say. 5 is really long, probably more like 3 to 4, but at the most. But man, it's like he resurfaces with his team that he's supposed to be on, and gets 1 goal and no assists in 55 games.
Jeez.
Yowzers! I know the Islanders stink, but
That's what I was.
huh?
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's like, I know they stink, but good God! I mean, okay, all right. Well, El Nino. Good thing we didn't get La Nina, right?
Yeah.
Yikes.
Might be called El Nino after this season.
Huh?
You might be called El Nino after this season.
Yeah, La Nina. Yep. Oh man, that would make him the biggest disappointment. Hey, we're gonna get to that very shortly. Actually, in fact, no, we'll save that for. No, actually, we should do it now. Actually, unfortunately, it's supposed to be near the end of the show, but due to the scheduling, see, it's like you go with State of the Wild and then on to free agency. But I guess in this case, it's just like you just have to, free agency show would follow. But in this case, we have to do it all together. So it's making it a little bit different here. So before we continue into free agency, we might as well get into the MVP now. That almost threw me off there a little bit. Do you have a most valuable player for the Minnesota Wild last season?
I would have to say Zach Parise.
Ooh, there you go. And your reason being? And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just kidding. No, talk about it a little bit.
He just seemed to always be in the right spot on the ice. He'd be, he was a great goal scorer, 18 goals, and 20 assists and 38 points, and he was great on power play, and he had a high amount of shots, 182, so. He's amazing this year and made Mikko Koivu look pretty good too.
He did help, didn't he? He did help in a lot of ways. Yeah, I mean, he's second place on my list. Can you believe it? Second place? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, I mean, obviously he's fantastic. what surprised me about him, and it's like we should know, it's like obviously we kind of know this from watching him, with the New Jersey Devils and, of course, the Olympic hockey team and all that good stuff, and team that almost won the gold, almost. He was the captain of that team. But it's like, man, just didn't realize just how hard that guy works, playing game in and game out, constantly.
Yep.
He's a beast. I mean, you don't really see star players work as hard as that. I mean, he works as hard as a third-line guy, yet he is a top-line guy. Because usually you think of the third-line guys as like the guys that really grind and hit people and stuff and chase after puck and all that good stuff. But Parise, he's got that ability to grind like no tomorrow. I think it increases his value in my mind, and it makes him an even better captain.
Yep.
But here's the MVP for myself. Yes. Are you ready? Are you ready? For me, it's the guy that should have won the Norris Trophy, and he just didn't win it. Doggone it, he should have won the Norris Trophy. He started the season a little slow, but then when he started hitting stride, it was like, oh my God, this guy's incredible. And that would be Ryan Suter, the other big signing. Yes. For me, Ryan Suter, huh? Yep. For me, Ryan Suter was an absolute MVP of this club last year, and I do believe should have won the Norris Trophy. That is not a homer pick, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. I mean, just watching the way he played and how important he was to this team in general. I mean, not only did he assist on he got 28 assists, by the way. This is in very limited time. Like how you mentioned the 18 goals and all that stuff with Parise. This is in limited time, we have to remember, too, because it was lockout shortened. Only a 48-game season. 32 points from a defenseman. The guy, to go along with being an elite defenseman. I mean, a few lapses here and there, unfortunately. But, man, also not only the production as, in scoring and defensively, but also the leadership he showed in helping develop Jonas Brodin. Jonas Brodin's development absolutely has to do with Ryan Suter as well. Like, when they put those two together, it was like, wow. One of the best defensive pairings in the league, believe it or not. It's just, unfortunately, after those two, it's like, oh, my God, the drop-off is like Mount Everest-like to the next level. Oh, boy. All right. So, for the sake of moving on, so I don't ramble too much, sorry. Who would be your biggest surprise? Or actually, no, let's do the biggest disappointment first. Your biggest disappointment for this last season?
Let's see. Well, probably Tom and Phil.
Really? Look at you.
I was hoping for such a when we got him, I was hoping for such a great year from him, and then he got injured.
That was the unfortunate part. I mean, it's disappointing in terms of the injury, yeah.
Yeah.
Seemed like when he was here, though, he really helped us make the playoffs. But I suppose. Look at you. I almost went with Cal Clutterbuck. I was this close, but then it's like, you know what? Cal Clutterbuck was disappointing, yes, very. I mean, his production dropped dramatically. He's not that 20-goal scorer that everybody wants to call him. Okay, he might get that in New York Islander land, but we're happy for him, But New York Islander land, excuse me for that. I couldn't help it. But really the biggest disappointment in a lot of ways was Mikael Granlund. I mean, what happened here? Doggone it, Doggone it.
2 goals, 6 assists.
Who? No, I'm kidding. Yeah, really, that was, that stung. It really did, because he was looked on as a guy that could just be an absolute stud in this league, and that's all we got out of him. What the hell? Yeah, I mean, it's, and it's not even just the stats, but his overall play in general was just like, I don't know. Just Just nothing to brag about at all. Zero defensive presence. I mean, I'm more physical than this guy. No, okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, it's like, what the hell? And obviously, you can't expect everybody to be physical or anything, but it's just, in general, his development was not where we had hoped. And clearly, the organization made a mistake throwing him to the Wolves as quickly as they did. I mean, I think he could have spent some more time in Houston. Or it was still Houston. Now it's the Iowa Wild. What a creative name. Sorry, but yeah, now they're calling the minor league team the Wild also. It's just change the name. Come on, why do you gotta have the same name? Come on, that's dumb. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, apparently he just wasn't ready. Not physically ready, not mentally ready for the league yet. And hopefully that changed this summer. Cross your fingers, right?
Yep.
Well, Kyle Granlund, definitely for me, the disappointment of 2013. Do you have a big surprise, or would you like me to do mine first?
You can go first.
Like, please, Joey, hurry up. No. It's like it could be one of two guys, Charlie Coyle or Jonas Brodin. The way they emerged, see, a lot of the other young guys, it's like they didn't emerge as much as we'd hoped. It's like, oh man, like Granlund especially, but other guys as well. Marco Scandella was kind of a nice little surprise at the last second in the postseason after being a colossal disappointment coming into the year. Scandella 2 years ago was looked on as the stud defenseman of the entire organization, prospect-wise. And then we started drafting all these defensemen like Jonas Brodin, Matt Dumba, and all them. And all of a sudden, Scandella just lost it. Like, what the hell? But yeah, and he was sent down and all that. And then they call him up at the last second going into the playoffs, which was a very wise move. And he was a nice surprise, but okay, I'm going too long. But ultimately, the surprise of the year, Jonas Brodin. I mean, he came in just 1 year after being drafted, still very, very thin, obviously very thin guy, and it just looked like a bona fide superstar in the making and the defensive pairing with Ryan Suter. Bona fide superstar in the making, Jonas Brodin. How do you feel about this young man? Tell me about Jonas Brodin.
Yeah, looking quite a stud, defensive, tough, and knows how to play defense, gritty player.
He's got the goods. He does. He has the it factor, right? That's what we like to say in the sports media, don't we? Yes. That's excited. So, do you have a big surprise do you have the biggest surprise for last year?
I remember last year talking about Mikko Koivu and how he was kind of a letdown for me last year. And now it's just total opposite. How he's pretty much 360. How he's totally. He's pretty awesome this year.
During the season, the playoffs, though, a lot of people complained about him, but I almost was going to go into the old rip center about him, but I guess I better just chill about it. It's after settling down and thinking about it, I kind of slowed down a bit, but yeah, during the regular season, he did step up a bit, and then all of a sudden, right around playoff time, it was like, wow. And even a little bit before, it's like his production just completely vanished, and he made some big mistakes, actually, in the Chicago series. But, and that's the one thing. That's the sad part, but I suppose during the regular season, you could call him that, yeah. I'm sorry. Now you're going to kill me, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
You've had enough of my negativity, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Koivu. Yeah, I mean, the playoffs, he really, oof. Oh. I was ready to trade him, but no, like trade him for like a 4th-round pick practically. Okay, I didn't say that. All of our 3 listeners remaining have tuned out. Okay. Oh, look at me. All right, so that'll conclude the season wrap-up. Okay. Oh, man. Yeah, last year, doggone it. Just the more I think about it, it's like, man, I don't know. I want more. It's got me hungry for more coming in. Oh, so now we get back to free agency, now that we've danced around that a bit. Wild were unable to buy out Danny Heatley. A lot of people look at him, freeing up that $7.5 million cap hit. Could have helped the Wild keep Matt Cullen. That would have been really nice. I mean, losing Matt Cullen, the Wild lose Matt Cullen, like I said 5 times already, sorry, to the Nashville Predators. Ugh.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Huge shame. Like the ultimate second-line center, really. Not in star level, but leadership.
Yeah, he was. Seemed like he always won the face-offs for us.
Mm-hmm. And he would get clutch goals.
Mm-hmm.
Clutch assists. I mean, remember how Setaguchi was looked on as a disappointment? When first we saw him as like a title. Was it last year? The year before last, whatever, when he first got here. First line guy to go with Heatley and Koivu. Here we go. And then they send him they drop him down to the second line. He joins Matt Cullen, and all of a sudden his production just, whoa, it was like, holy cow. So, I mean, Matt Cullen absolutely was a factor in Setaguchi's improvement.
So?
Well, we raised his trade value. No. Kind of sad. I mean, bye-bye second line, huh? Setaguchi. What a nice reward. What a nice reward for the second line. Like, you don't re-sign Cullen, you trade Setaguchi. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, when I was going to call Charlie Coyle a surprise, it was, it's like, man, he went all the way up to the top line. And it's not because he was like an elite scorer yet, but it's just the potential is absolutely there. And it just seemed like he got to the NHL level quicker than I expected. I thought maybe he was a year to a half year away, and boom, there he was playing regular ice time with the top line. So that's why I thought about that. Sorry for bouncing there. Oh, Matt Cullen. Doggone it. That was a drag. It was 2 years, $7 million for him. So $3.5 million for Matt Cullen. Would have been nice if Heatley could have been bought out, but that's the end of that. A guy the Wild were not going to bring back regardless of what was available and what wasn't. That was Pierre-Marc Bouchard. Are you going to miss him?
Yeah. Yeah. I always miss his spinneroonie.
Mm-hmm. He had some nice little skill, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
He was a skilled son of a gun, that Pierre-Marc Bouchard. And early on in his career, now, by the way, this is one of the longest-lasting players in Wild history. About 10 years with the Wild, Pierre-Marc Bouchard.
Yep.
Incredible. He was actually on the roster, on the team that, had that awesome run back in 2003. He was a rookie that year, was Pierre-Marc Bouchard.
Mm.
And he was already balding back then. Oh, that guy. Yeah, he was balding at age 18. I still remember when he was drafted. But, yeah, it's kind of sad in that sense because, yeah, he goes all the way back. Man, long time. Longest tenured member of the Wild history, Pierre-Marc Bouchard. 10 years. So that's the sad part. And early on in his career, he was so durable for such a small guy, and then all of a sudden that durability just went out the window. Because once he had that concussion, it was like he kept having concussions and then other injuries and such. Just gone, man. And then his production kind of went from real good to
Mm-hmm.
to just like, okay, he's doing really well, to where is he?
Mm-hmm.
What has he done now? No, it's like 8 games without a goal, 15 games without a goal. Where is Pierre-Marc Bouchard? Oh, he got 2 goals, Yeah, very inconsistent, but man, when his skill was at its peak, though, he was awesome, especially on those little shootouts, wasn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
Wasn't it precious? Okay, look at me. Oh, yep, and I guess there's Mikhail Granlund. Hopefully he can... Oh, well, I hope so. He's both of them first-round picks. Granlund and Booch. Hoping for the best there. A guy that was bought out, so to free up some cap space that helped us make some new signings, was Tom Gilbert out of Bloomington Jefferson. He is oot. Tom Gilbert started out strong, and a lot of people thought that he was one of those guys that was brought here via trade from Edmonton to help lure Zach Parise and Ryan Suter, because he was friends with both of them. But now, well, after a strong start, he pretty much bit the dust. It's like, you're like, who's that, right? Yeah, you probably barely remember him because he was so invisible last year, wasn't he? At least after the first month, right?
Yeah.
And a pretty expensive guy, about $4 million a year.
Jeez.
Tom Gilbert. Yeah, he got about 8 points like right out of the gate, like 2 weeks in, and I think he finished with like 10. Isn't that great?
Not really.
No, right?
No.
I love Tom Gilbert. I do. Oh boy. Are you having fun yet, Neil? Are you having fun? Yeah, this is a wacky show, isn't it? It's wacky. It is what it is. He finished with 13 points. Woo. Go Tom Gilbert. Yeah, I remember now. He got a couple of small productive games later on, but well, he was immediately replaced with Keith Ballard. Keith Ballard returning to Minnesota, who also was disappointing last year and the last couple of years in Vancouver. Keith Ballard, former Gopher, national champion. Keith Ballard coming home. Huh? Yabba dabba doo. Keith Ballard's coming home. Do you like it?
Oh yeah.
I do too. I'm excited. I'm actually pretty excited. Hopefully this is a buy low type of deal. I hope so. I mean, get fingers crossed. His production was so porous in Vancouver, but he was a 30-point guy in Phoenix, so I guess cross your fingers, hope for the best with that one. I hope so. He's going to be paired with Marco Scandella, so a couple guys that were kind of, that were very disappointing last year. I mean, man, Keith Ballard got only 2 points last year in 36 games. It's just, you look at his production level. When he was with Phoenix and Florida, he was averaging about 30 to 35 points a season.
Yes.
His third year in the league, he only got 21 with Phoenix, but other than that, very valuable guy. Goes to Vancouver. Listen to these numbers, and listen to these numbers. And listeners, of course. In 2010, or, 09 and 10, whatever, 65 games, 7 points. The next year, 47 games, only 47 games, 7 points. And last year, 36 games and 2 points. So, also bit with the injury bug a bit, obviously. Wow. 16 points in 3 years.
Dude.
So, yeah, it didn't work out in Vancouver, did it? It's that...
Brutal.
Huh?
It's brutal.
I think he went there to sabotage them. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold out hope that that's why he went there. Hey, why not? Minnesotans hate those Vancouver Canucks, even though we're not going to be in the same division anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're going to come home. Yeah, we'll talk about that more in the preview, but yeah, we got our new division back.
Mm-hmm.
Our new old division. That's why I'm getting all confused. You're calling it our new division back. Our old new division. I'm glad about that. Somewhat, with a couple of new teams like Winnipeg and Nashville, but it's one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yes, I'm happy about Keith Ballard though coming home. Hopefully that production will change and we'll get that 25-point guy or so. He's 30, by the way, 30. But yeah, bargain basement deal, 2 years, $3 million, $1.5 million per year.
Nice.
Matt Cook, what do you think about this one? Oh, we get rid of Cal Clutterbuck. Yeah, we don't want to rub people the wrong way, so let's bring in Matt Cook.
Yeah.
What were they thinking, right? Oh, what do you think about this signing? He's my age, by the way. He's like 34, Matt Cook.
Nice.
Do you like it?
Oh, yeah.
How can you like signing Matt Cook? How can you? This guy's like okay, no, he's not quite as bad as I was about to say, but you are aware of Matt Cook's reputation, aren't you? All those cheap shots and stuff, trying to chop off a guy's ankle or something with his skate. Yeah, aren't you? You are aware of that, aren't you? Look at you. You're like, yeah, Matt Cook. No, you probably are. Yeah, but you love it. You want us to injure the other players.
Yeah, first he's gonna come after you, Joe.
Huh?
He's gonna come after you, Joe.
He's probably listening, isn't he?
Yep.
Matt, if you're listening, welcome to Minnesota. He basically went on an ongoing spiel. I'm a changed guy. Come on now, I'm a changed guy. I'm a good guy. I'm so excited to be in Minnesota. I love you guys so much. Never meant anything personal. Obviously he was one of the most infamous members of that Vancouver Canucks team that we played in that playoff series. And I'm sure you affectionately remember that series.
Mm-hmm.
Todd Bertuzzi and Matt Cook were probably the two, were the most hated members of that team.
Yep.
Oh, Lord, don't you miss him? Don't you? Don't you miss being on a nice playoff team?
Yeah.
Oh, I miss it. I miss it, Neil. I miss it. Oh. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Crossed.
Mm-hmm. So one final thing. Yep. Andrew Brunette. Yes, Andrew Brunette. Yeah, he was brought in as a scout and like a guy who could, work with the players and such, work with the organization, the free agency, I believe vice president of player operations, all that good stuff. Vice president of operations with the hockey side. You gotta like that.
Nice.
Yeah, still scouts also, but he's also working with the players on the power play behind the scenes. Isn't that cool?
Wow.
Andrew Brunette's all over the place.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, I love it. He's everywhere. He's still going to be a member of the front office, but he's also helping the players on the ice as well. So kind of cool.
Yeah, throw him in the game once in a while. That'd be pretty cool.
I wish. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
I'm getting teary-eyed right now because I remember he was one of the most valuable members of that team.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it so much, don't we? We all know what that team was.
Yep.
03, baby, 03.
Yep.
When Keith huh?
Yep. When I graduated, 03.
Mm-hmm. Man, yep. It's been a while. I'm a 98er, unfortunately. No, but yeah, I mean, when Keith Ballard was winning national championships, who was winning a national championship in 03 with the Gophers, Matt Cook was was spearing wild players, getting booed like crazy with the fans, and Andrew Brunette was scoring series-ending goals on the road. So it's kind of cool looking at these names here all together. Pierre-Marc Richard was getting scratched because he was too young and not ready for the big time just yet. He was getting scratched that year. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't I mean?
A little bit.
He was getting scratched. Yeah, he's just too small. Get off the ice. Okay, I'm just kidding. Yeah, pretty much. All right. So with that, I think we're going to probably call it a day for now, and we're going to get into a season preview. That's going to be a lot of fun, actually. We're going to preview, so I'm going to kind of talk about that briefly here. Episode number 63 of Brave the Wild will be NHL season preview. We're going to talk extensively about the Wild and what we like coming in, what's to be excited about, all that good stuff. We're going to make some predictions. Yes, we're going to make some predictions in each conference. Ultimately, we're going to decide what two teams are going to go to the conference finals on the East and the West. That will be fun. We're going to each pick our Stanley Cup champion. as well. Are you looking forward to it?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I can't wait for that. Yeah, we'll be ready to rock and roll with that one. This one, it's like, yeah, I'm glad we were still able to do State of the Wild tonight. It's just, we really apologize. It was so late. So it's just one of those things. We're going to have a really, really good show for you, though, in the season preview. This one was just simply something we had to do. We wanted to bridge the gap from, the postseason last year to today. And we were able to do that successfully tonight, I hope, right? Hopefully able to do that. Bridge the gap for you out there. We hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back soon to talk more Minnesota Wild hockey, to do some predictions, and try to sell hope, but also don't sell too much, because we gotta focus on the negative too sometimes, because that's the name of the game. Thanks again, Neil, for joining me. Hopefully we can get together again for this next one. Maybe even in studio would be nice again, just like old times, huh?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, we will be on our game that night, and we'll be ready to, regardless if it's over the phone or in person, we'll be ready to preview the season and hopefully get all of you excited for the oncoming year. I can't believe it's going to be hockey season. Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah, me too.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully something better, nice longer playoff run this time. All right, so thanks again, everybody, for listening. Dakota Sports FM, obviously the sportstuff.com, the flagship website for this show. You can listen to us on iTunes. You can, that's of course for Apple devices. Double Twist is for Android devices. It mirrors iTunes. It does exactly the same stuff iTunes does. So when this show gets uploaded onto iTunes, it's also uploaded onto Double Twist at the same time. So if you have an Android device, you can listen to this show just as easily as if you had an iPhone or iPod or iPad or I don't care. No, I'm just kidding. Or I don't care, right? Oh, man, sorry about that. And, of course, BlackBerry, I'm sure you can get it on TuneIn for sure. Not sure about the app for that one. That would mirror iTunes. Possibly Double Twist again. And Microsoft, you simply just search for it in the store. You'll find it. Good stuff. All right, so we will be back within a week or two to preview the season. But until then, do take care, and thank God the heat is gone. The heat is gone for all of us humidity haters. Take care, everybody. Huh?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Take care, everybody.